Imagine the life of a boxer, an existence honed by meticulous preparations.
That's it.
One of boxing's biggest stars, Tank, will be back in the ring on March 1st for an exciting showdown against Lamont Roach. Fans are already buzzing, especially after clips from his training camp were shared in the Gloves Off series. The American boxer has raised eyebrows by hinting that his fight with Roach could be part of his final year in boxing, as he's thinking about retiring in 2025. If he decides to walk away at just 30 years old, it would be a major surprise and a big loss for the sport, especially with so many big matchups still on the horizon.
Not really trying to get in his personal business. Probably just showing him that, I could do anything, especially in your backyard.
Davis is putting in serious work in the gym as he prepares for his upcoming fight, and he's clearly taking this challenge even more seriously than he did against Frank Martin. The reason behind his extra focus is clear. Davis and his opponent, Lamont Roach, share a long and intense history. Roach is the kind of fighter who will truly test Davis' skills and mental toughness. Recently, Davis made a surprising admission. He revealed that his biggest fear is being embarrassed and ridiculed by fans, similar to what happened to Frank Martin after he was knocked out by Tank a few months ago.
Box. An existence honed by meticulous preparation.
Catch the rim, baby. Catch the rim, baby. Dance with this shit.
Frank's knockout by Tank was unforgettable, his face contorted from the force of the punch, with his lips and cheeks twisting, before he fell to the mat and stayed there until the count ended. It's a scene Tank clearly wants to avoid, and that's why he's pushing himself so hard in training. But if you thought the only excitement would come from training camp clips, you might be in for a surprise. The Gloves Off series took things up a notch with a narrator and footage highlighting some of the most intense moments between the two fighters leading up to this fight. Lamont Roach has promised to teach Tank a lesson, while Tank is determined to break him down. With a mix of training clips, interviews, and some heated exchanges, the series has kept fans on the edge of their seats, offering a thrilling preview of the showdown.
Catch the rim, baby. Catch the rim, baby. Dance with this shit.
The first episode of Gloves Off, Tank vs. Roach, dives into the incredible rise of Tank Davis, with the narrator highlighting his journey. The episode focuses heavily on Davis, making it clear he's the main draw for the fight. Barry Hunter, Davis' trainer, shares an insightful moment from his past, saying that Tank's biggest fear has always been losing. Hunter, who's known for training top DC fighters like Lamont and Anthony Peterson, offers a unique perspective on Davis' mindset and how far he's come.
Where goes up, come down, my nigga.
Just covering the event.
Hunter remembers a moment when Davis was emotional at an Adrian Broner fight, feeling a strong desire to experience that big fight atmosphere for himself. It was clear to Hunter, even back then, that Tank would do whatever it took to achieve that dream. Fast forward to today, and while critics often talk about Tank's matchmaking, accusing him of avoiding closely matched fights because of his fear of losing, his preparation has always spoken for itself. This commitment to hard work and focus is reflected in his impressive record of 30-0.
He might be 30-0 on paper, but who the nigga for it? Yeah. So it looked good on paper, but there don't be nobody.
Tank Davis is 30 now, and he's made it clear that he's ready to step away from the brutal side of boxing soon. But before that happens, he's got unfinished business with Lamont Roach Jr., who he'll face on March 1st at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Premier Boxing Champions is putting on the event. Recently, there's been a noticeable shift in Davis' approach, and while fans are watching closely, they're not entirely sure what's behind this change.
Sir, come on, quick. Drop those hips. Nice. Come on. Give me that explosion. Rip.
Clip 7. Longtime fans are intrigued by the rumors surrounding Tank Davis's potential retirement, especially since he's been noticeably absent from fight presses with his father figure trainer, Calvin Ford. There's been little information about the reasons behind this, and the details are scarce. Still, based on training footage, Tank looks sharp, and despite his talk of retiring soon, he seems focused and ready. Veteran trainer Barry Hunter, who's worked with many top fighters in the DC area, believes this could be the most skilled opponent Tank has faced yet. While some odds makers think Davis will take care of business on March 1st, Hunter isn't convinced that anything will change the outcome. Even though Tank might be feeling worn out by the sport, he's clearly not lost his drive.
God damn.
Tank Davis has openly admitted that his biggest fear is embarrassment. "I'm not trying to go out and get my butt kicked," he says, which helps explain his cautious, calculated approach in the ring. Despite being known for his knockout power, Tank often plays it safe in the early rounds, gathering data and avoiding risky moves. This strategy makes sense given his tough upbringing, where survival was the main goal. While creating a flashy training montage is easy, Davis's work ethic is undeniable. His intense desire to avoid losing drives his dedication. He explained it differently than his trainer Barry Hunter, saying his main fear isn't just losing, it's being embarrassed. Tank Davis is determined to avoid any embarrassment in the ring, putting in the work to make sure he's prepared. He joked about fighters who get embarrassed, laughing and saying, "I ain't got time for that." Meanwhile, Lamont Roach, who's excited about the opportunity to face Davis, comes across as more laid-back and easygoing. When asked about the fight, Roach instantly said yes, and shared a humorous look at his training camp, including the Thmean breakfast bowl he enjoys. Unlike Tank's intense focus, Roach seems relaxed, spending his camp time in Plant City, Florida, where he joked, "I think I'm going to beat this bum." How much of that is true only Roach knows, but there's no doubt he's a seasoned fighter, capable both in and out of the ring. Roach, who's been around long enough to understand the ups and downs of the sport, even called Tank a wild card and speculated that last month's rumors of the fight being off could have been Tank negotiating for more guaranteed money. In episode 2, Davis opens up about his mental health, admitting that his past has left scars. He shared that therapy might help him heal fully and that retirement could give him the time to focus on that. The episode also portrays this fight as a classic DC versus Baltimore showdown, though it's not quite the same as other iconic rivalries, like Puerto Rican versus Mexican. While Tank doesn't seem overly worried, he also doesn't come off as overconfident. He enjoys the venue, noting that he has more Instagram followers from the New York area than Maryland, so he's fond of the location. Roach, on the other hand, is shown speaking with his son, expressing how proud he is that his son will get to witness this massive career moment. At 29, Roach has faced his own challenges in the sport but has continued to push forward, just like Tank.
Do you want your legacy to be? If you care. Because some interviews I see you say like, "Yeah, I don't care about this, I don't care about that." Where you stand on that?
It just like, it's so up and down in the sport. Which, when I say up and down in the sport, it's like a lot.
Let's face it, Davis's record is impressive, 30 wins, 28 knockouts. He's built a reputation by knocking out top names like Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin. But Lamont Roach isn't focused on the numbers. He's getting ready to take away Davis's advantages, one punch and one mental edge at a time. Roach knows Tank likes to break opponents mentally before finishing them off with a big punch, so his plan is to flip the script. Instead of reacting to everything Tank does, Roach is determined to stay calm under pressure and stick to his own game plan. For Roach, this fight is about more than just a win, it's about legacy and life-changing opportunity. His motivation is clear, to prove he's truly one of the best fighters in the world.
It'd be like, I don't know, it'd be little clips, like like you see how like me and him was talking, and then somebody else talked like his crew. That's what get me up. Like that's what make me like. I always want to prove to somebody that I'm like they.
Roach's motivation goes beyond just himself. He's fighting for his family, his city, and the respect he believes he's been denied. After I win, my life and my family's lives will change drastically for the good, he says, and it's a statement that speaks volumes. Beating Tank Davis would be a game changer for Roach, elevating him from a solid champion to a household name. In camp, Roach has been pushing himself harder than ever. His sparring partners have been carefully selected to replicate Davis's style, throwing everything they can, speed, power, and aggression, to test him. Roach has held his ground, focusing on movement, defense, and keeping the fight in the center of the ring. He knows standing still against Tank is a recipe for disaster, so he's training to stay elusive while landing sharp counters. A big part of Roach's mental toughness comes from his father, Lamont Roach Sr., who's been instrumental in keeping him focused. As a no-nonsense trainer, he doesn't let outside distractions or media hype affect their camp. Every training session is about preparation and improvement, staying grounded, and sticking to the plan. Psychologically, Roach knows the key to facing Davis is staying in his face from the start. Davis thrives on opponents showing fear or hesitation, and Roach is determined not to give him that satisfaction.
I'm not looking at Lamont the way that everybody else look at Lamont. Like I know Lamont is a really good fighter. I'm not. This ain't no Frank Martin. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
It's a real good fight.
Roach's game plan is simple: stay calm, stay sharp, and show Davis that he's not intimidated. If he can do that, he has a real chance at breaking down the mental walls Tank usually builds around his opponents. But Tank has been unpredictable lately, stirring up confusion with some surprising moves. Over the past few months, the Baltimore native has made several eyebrow-raising comments about his career, leaving fans uncertain about what's next. It all started on Christmas Eve when Davis dropped a bombshell that left the boxing world in shock. Out of nowhere, he claimed that his much-anticipated showdown with Roach, something fans had been eagerly awaiting, was cancelled. There was no explanation, no follow-up, just a social media post that left everyone scratching their heads, wondering what was really going on.
Talk to me about the mental preparation going to this fight with Lamont. Fans, they kind of sleeping on Lamont, but you know Lamont's fighting style. Y'all fought.
Yeah, people don't know him, but Lamont is a good fighter. Like he ain't no slouch. Like I fought him in the amateurs. Like